Good morning, everybody, and happy Friday. This week has been kind of like the speed of it. It's just like we made it. We got to Friday, and then it's gonna be the weekend. I have not looked at the forecast, so I have no clue if it's supposed to be like nice or I have no clue. But we need to do Friday. I wish I could have better control over my thoughts, because I would think about other things than what my stress always wants to think about. And most of the time, my stress just wants to think about how angry I am with guys just because they don't know how to stop or they have strange expectations or like wants. And it's just like, I would just not think about that, And so it struggles. And so I was getting excited because I was starting to think about all the things and I cannot, And so we can just stay on crushes. And like my thing is, so I posted something yesterday about UPS. And then the thing is, my thing with bosses and dating them is, one, if everybody starts dating their boss, then your boss just expects that it's normal, like it's a must, and then they can't give you a reason on why they want to pursue you, and it bothers me because I'm just like, we should not be thinking about this, like at all, like why don't we like turn it into something else, and so, because the thing is, I'm a real human, and even if I'm not a real human, I'm a spirit or something, you can still hang out with them, and like, so my thing is quality time, it's the five love languages, and one of them is the five love languages, and one of them is quality time. And so if your boss really wants to pursue you, they will take out, touches for a long while. They would actually try to hang out with that individual and talk to them and spend time with them and, get to know them, face to face, not through phone calls and text messages and emails and through the mail and stuff. They would actually come and find you and hang out with you. And if they're not doing that, they're not really into you. And so my thing is, STDs, I made a video about STDs yesterday. I made it private just because I'm just like, I can take the employment out of this. I can take that out. So like, if you go to the bar and there's a guy that goes to the bar and finds a lady like every night or every single weekend, and it's different, the chances of him being clean is low. And so, do you really want that on you, touching you? Do you really want that? Because it's not the fact of you having feelings for them, or it's not the fact of you like having like needs, it's the fact that once you touch that thing, then you're gonna have to go and see a doctor, not a therapist, a doctor at a clinic to get medicine or creams or stuff, and some of them will never go away, and you have to live with, your body has to live with it, and then it's basically going through like it's being diagnosed with something that you're gonna have for a long time. Because sometimes, even if you don't make a mistake, your actions do something that gives you consequences. And like that one time, or that's why spending quality time with somebody is really, really, really important for a length of time, to the point of like, oh, okay, yeah, maybe he is covered in diseases. But, maybe I'm planning on being with him for like 30, 50, until I pass away, But you can't do that unless you spend like years with somebody, like without touching them. Because how are you supposed to really get to know somebody if you don't actually hang out with them? That's my issue. And then once you do touch that individual and they are covered with diseases, and you will be like, okay, I have looked at how much it would cost to keep on doing this or to actually do it. Because like once you touch that individual, there's no going back. And so you touch this in, like, before you touch this individual, you're like, okay, these are the medical bills that I'm going to get. Because by law, that individual has to tell you if they have any type of transmitted diseases. Do you understand? So if they don't tell you that, they will get fined or jail time or whatever, thing. And so before you do that, there's talks and conversations people need to have before they touch one another. And usually you also have dates, and you usually have time to talk about like life, of like their goals, their objectives, what they want to do, what they're doing right now in life, what their friends and families do, what they like to do, and interests. Like there's a lot more talks that go involved than just like, okay, the documents that I have on myself, or the documents that like this is the doctor appointments that I need to have before I have the talks. There's a lot more talking involved than just like one or two or three or four conversations before you guys start touching one another. There's a lot more involvement. And the thing is, and that's just with one person, if you decide to have an open relationship, it's going to get a lot more complicated. But if you guys don't decide to have an open relationship, then it's just between you and him. And then you have to worry about sexual harassment and sexual assault. But if you guys decide to have that, then you guys need to worry about rape and inappropriate touches and jealousy, But if you guys don't decide to have an open relationship, and like my thing is, I don't even have a relationship, and the next one I'm planning on having is not going to be open. And so, but the thing is, it takes a while until you guys become like, there's steps to dating also. Like there's actually like talking to one another, and then it's actually seeing one another, then it's actually dating one another, and then it's actually being in a relationship. And that's when you start calling them boyfriend, girlfriend. And then if that goes really well for a period of time, then it's engagements, and then you can start calling them a fiancés and stuff. And then after that, then you can actually start planning a wedding, and then invite guests if people like you too. And then you can have a wedding, and then after the wedding, then it's husband and wife. And that's a whole nother thing, that the illegal steps. This is what I'm saying, and so if you're not in the relationship stage yet, then you're like casually dating somebody. It does not mean you're in an open relationship. Open relationship is when you guys actually have this like conversations like, hey, I want to be your boyfriend, girlfriend. And they're like, oh, okay. And then it's like, what type of relationship would you like to have? But until then, there's no relationship. It's called being single. And while you're single, protect yourself and take care of yourself, because touching a lot of people is gross.